What's going on? Look at this. Job 37. This is very interesting right here. It's funny, in my Aunt Beth's house, when I got home from Florida, she had this poster on the wall, and it was an Apache proverb, and it said, better to have more lightning in the hand than thunder in the mouth. And it was funny. This is so funny. But it's like, this is a good grounder. If the lying signs and lying wonders and the fearful sights are so that they do not overtake you and deceive you. Because remember this. You know what I mean? These things. It's like Psalms 147. It's like, where did this information come from? It comes from Job 37 right here. But anyway, look. I'm going to start a little bit in 36 first. Hold on. Look, God is exalted beyond our knowledge. The number of his years cannot be counted, for he makes the water drops evaporate. They distill the rain into its mists, which the clouds pour out and the shower abundantly on mankind. Can anyone understand how the clouds spread out or how the thunders roar from God's pavilion? Look, he spreads his lightning around him and covers the depths of the sea, for he judges the nations with these. He gives food in abundance. He covers his hands with lightning, and the commands it to its mark. The thunder declares his presence. And I like this right here. This sounds like Animal Internet. The cattle also the approaching storm. But anyway, my heart pounds at this and leaps from my chest just to listen to his thunderous voice and rumbling come from his mouth. He lets it loose beneath the entire sky, his lightning to the ends of the earth, and then then there comes roaring sound. God thunders with his majestic voice. He does not restrain the lightning when his rumbling voice is heard. God thunders marvelously with his voice, and he does great things we cannot comprehend. For he says to the snow, fall to the earth, and the torrential rains. His mighty torrential rains serve as his signature to all mankind, so that all men may know his work. And the wild animals enter their lairs and stay in their dens. And windstorms come from its chamber and the cold. In the driving north winds, ice is formed by the breath of God. And watery expanses are frozen. He saturates clouds with moisture. He scatters his lightning through them. They swirl about, turning round and round at his direction, accomplishing everything he commands them over the surface of the inhabited world. He causes this to happen for punishment, for his land, for his faithful love. Listen to this, Job. Stop, consider God's wonders. Do you know how God direct his clouds or make their lightnings flash? Do you understand how the clouds float? Those wonderful works of him who hath perfect knowledge. You whose clothes get hot when the south wind brings calm to the land. Can you help God spread out the skies as hard as a cast metal mirror? Listen, I would like to take particular note as hard as a cast metal mirror. Teach us what we should say to him. We cannot prepare our case because of our darkness. Should he be told that I want to speak? Can a man speak when he is confused? Now men cannot even look at the sun when it is in the skies after a wind has swept through and cleared them away. Yet out the north he comes, shrouded in a golden glow. I like this one too. Awesome majesty surrounds him. The Almighty, we cannot reach him. He is exalted in power. His justice and righteous he will not oppress. Therefore men fear him. He does not look favorably on any who are wise in heart. That was all. And then the next 38 it starts. Then the Lord answered Job from the whirlwind. I might as well read a little bit up into this too. Who is this who obscures my counsel with ignorant words? Get ready to answer me like a man. When I question you, you will inform me. Where were you when I established the earth? Tell me, if you have understanding, who fixed its dimensions? And then here's another. That's another one that I like is who fixed the dimensions? Ooh, certainly you know. Who stretched a measuring line across it? Who supports its foundations or laid its cornerstone? While the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy. And then there's those sons of God again, right here. And who enclosed the sea behind doors when it burst from the womb, when I made clouds its garment and a thick darkness its blanket, when I determined its boundaries and put its bars and doors in place, when I declared you may come this far, but no further. Your proud waves stop here. Have you ever in your life commanded the morning or assigned the dawn its place, so it may seize the edges of the earth and shake the wicked out of it? The earth is changed as clay is by a seal. Its hills stand out like the folds of a garment. Light is withheld from the wicked, and the arm raised, and violence is broken. Have you traveled to the sources of the sea, or walked the depths of the oceans? Have the gates of death been revealed to you? Have you seen the gates of death's shadow? Have you comprehended the extent of the earth? Tell me, if you know all this, where is the road to home of light? Do you know where darkness lives? Can you lead it back to its border? Are you familiar with the path to its home? Do you know, were you already born? There's another interesting one. Were you already born? Thou must be born again. You have lived so long. Have you entered the place where the snow is stored? Or have you seen all the storehouses of hail, which I hold in reserve for the times of troublesome times? In the day of warfare and battle, that road leads to the place where light is dispersed, and the sources of the east wind spreads across the earth. Who cuts a channel for flooding rain, or clears a way for lightning to bring rain on an uninhabited land, on a desert with no human life? To satisfy parched wasteland, to cause the grass to sprout. Does rain have a father? Who fathered the drops of dew? Whose womb did ice come from? Who gave birth to the frost of heaven? And when the water becomes as hard as stone, and the surface of the watery depths is frozen, can you fasten the chains of the Pleiades, or loosen the belt of Orion? Can you bring out the constellations in their season, lead the bear and her cubs? Whoa, that's in the Indian legend of Sleeping Bear Dunes. It's in Job. Wow. Do you know the laws of heaven? Can you oppose its authority on earth? Can you command the clouds so that the floods of waters covers you? Can you send lightning bolts as they go? Do they report to you, here we are? Who put wisdom in the heart, or gave the mind understanding? Who has the wisdom to number the clouds, or who can tilt the water jars of heaven when the dust hardens like cast metal and clods of dirt stick together? Can you hunt prey for a lioness, or satisfy the appetite of young lions when they crouch in their dens and lie in wait within their lairs? Who provides the raven food when its young cry out to God and wander about for lack of food?